Hey gang, this is the Kizer Vanguard series Dukes. It's the name of it, strange name, but this is a very, very good knife for the price and really good entry into the $100-ish Australian EDC knife market. Here's some specs. As you can see, it is about delicate size and weight. Good thin blade, hollow ground VG10. Thank you very much to my buddy Nelson for sending this in. I'm not sure how Nelson feels about it, but I've really grown to like this quickly. It's a flipper knife, and it uses Kizer's pretty much highly consistent flipping actions, which is great. And it also has some pretty cool, slightly more high-end design features, I guess you would say, like that G10 with the mountainous textures on it, things like that. It has a pretty cool, unique little pocket clip. Overall, it's something that does feel a little bit classier and a little bit more expensive than perhaps you would expect by paying for it. This is designed by a chap called Matt Kuchiara, and Kizer sells this one in its standard Kizer line as well, with like titanium and S35VN. The Vanguard line is generally where they get existing designs and just downscale them to use VG10 and G10 with, rather than titanium and better steels. So this one here, this is it next to an Almar Falcon, which sort of shows you what kind of knife it is. It's a nice, thin, slim knife, which of course appeals to me. I like my knives thin and slim. I like my Benchmade 940s and my Almar Falcons and all that sort of thing. Slimness across the knife is very endearing to me. So that's it next to a Falcon Even U2 and an Almar Falcon. That's it, replacing the Falcon with a Swiss Army knife, like a Victorinox Explorer, but it's very standard size. And that's it with a SOG Vulcan, which is kind of your standard big beefy tactical knife. That's it with the Benchmade Osborne Contago, which is a huge knife, and again, like a big, stout tactical knife, which probably weighs about twice as much and has a steel that is twice as long lasting, so kind of the next category up. Here you can see this knife has been used a fair bit in the course of my reviewing, has a good hollow grind on it that makes for being an excellent slicer, which I will demonstrate later. This is it next to the Contago's blade, which isn't a super thick blade as it is, but you can probably see this one is rather thin indeed. And that's it next to the Almar Falcon blade, more or less the same thickness there. Pretty good slice, the Almar Falcon blade, and you know what? This one is definitely up there with it. So that is the lock up there. You've got a liner lock on this knife. It certainly locks up very well. It really is quite, I guess the word would almost be loose on its bearings. Not in a negative way, but just really flies out with the flipping. And the lock does a pretty good job of stopping all that force rather suddenly and making the knife stay open. So the handle is in my hand right there. It's a good grip, nice and simple grip, kind of bows down a little bit, which is nice, curls towards the palm of your hand. Absolutely no problems at all with the handle. It is a very ergonomic and very good handle, even with my largerish hands. The clip is nice and it doesn't cause any hot spots or anything like that. It's not particularly deep carry, but it works in the pocket just fine. The knife has good standoff, so you can just blast it out if it gets full of crud. Here is a knife in my pocket. Which, as you can see, these are kind of like my testing pants, I guess, and you can see the pocket's been absolutely ruined by much harsher pocket clips than these. You can probably thank cold steel for the way those pockets look, but absolutely fine in the pocket, just not super deep carry, if that is something that matters to you a whole lot, but it's quite inconspicuous looking. It almost looks like it could be a pen or something. Just put it through its paces, doing some EDC style tasks, so this is opening a couple of annoying sort of clamshell type bubble packaging things, get some charges out, no worries at all with that, just straight underneath, slides through the plastic, no worries at all. Then I just took it out, I think next to get against some standard pine, just to use it to another way of using the knife in the course of review, get a good grip on the blade. The VG10 in this blade is done pretty well. VG10 is not the best still in the world, but this is the best iteration of it I've come across so far, and I've compared a few now, so this one did 83 cuts in my rope cutting test, which is the best VG10 has done so far. And it will do more if you put perhaps a V-grounds, more surgical bevel on it, probably do even better for you. VG10 is a highly stainless steel, And in terms of something you don't pay too much for, it's probably one of the better steals in knives under 80 Australian dollars. I guess is a good way to look at it. Yeah, in terms of I don't know, competition with this knife, I would say it's in the relative same price point as the Delica, as the Kizer Vigor is another really good knife of about this price point. And yeah, it definitely holds up to both of those just fine. Here you can see making nice, clean, clear slices with it. Nice thin knife makes good, excellent slices. The hollow grind, very, very thin behind the edge. No worries at all doing all your fine slicing, and it doesn't crack apples like your thicker stock blades will do. Even moved on to some blueberries, and yeah, no problems at all cutting up blueberries into little rings, all that sort of cool stuff you can use a sharp knife for. No problems whatsoever. In terms of issues with this knife, the one issue that I really would give it is that, and it's not even a major one, is that the flipper is quite large. It flips very well, but doesn't that just look like a penguin? Look at it. Look at pecking my finger there. Hello. So it's quite a beak-like flipper, which, there's the whole pocket pecker thing going on where, people, quite rightfully say that the flipper is probably one of the more frustrating parts of the knife. And it does have a larger flipper than perhaps it may need, but there you go. Overall, though, that is really the only critique I have of this blade. It is fun to use, it is fun to flip, it cuts and carries very well, it is comfortable in hand, and it is well priced. Could be my favourite. No, I think I like this as much as the Delica, if not a little bit more. In fact, I think when I send this one back to Nelson, I might even look into getting that slightly fancier version with the titanium and the S35. I think I like it that much. It's a great little size, great little shape, great overall package. Alright dudes, Kizer Dukes, look into it if you want to spend about $100 Australian on a really good knife. That's $60 in America, I reckon, right now. So good on Kizer for keeping their lower priced options very, very reasonable and fun still. See you in the next video, dudes. Bye.